All right. We have the Accursed Asylum 9-hole cup. So I'm in my auto account and I'm going to play a pro round. I haven't looked at them. I don't have any notes or anything. I'm just going to go out there and play. I'm going to act like we're playing one-on-one. I'm going to take a katana and I'm just going to go out there and see what we can do. And my whole goal is just to shoot minimum score. So I have shot in rookie and there's opportunities, but I'm not sure what it looks like in pro. But what I found in pro is that if you can go out there and shoot minimum score, not in every tournament, but you've set yourself up. Now it's just picking up a couple shots. It's actually pro plays actually pretty good because you gotta work it in order to get to minimum score. So we'll just see what the deal is. So we'll just play them. I'm gonna play in pro here. 50K. Continue. All right, I'm going to take this bag. I'm going to act like it's one-on-one, so I can switch up bags, and I do have several different bags depending on like if I do need that different. But I'm going to try and make this my primary bag, and I'm going to take a katana on every hole. And when I get to the par threes, I'm just going to act like I got there with a katana, and we'll figure it out. I got my calculator. I want to get a round on video so I can go back and watch it and see what clubs I picked and where I was at, and I can take note sheets from that. So right now we're just going to go have some fun. What's screwy about it is a lot of times I come out and Dunner and I play these rounds where we're just out screwing around trying to check out the course, and we're just out having fun and we tear it up. And when we get notes and we get out there and we're all trying to be serious, then it all goes south. Not all the time, but see where my opponent can get to. Now in rookie, if you bring out the right stuff, and you might be able to do it in pro with a tailwind like this, with the right stuff, you can go this way and you can try and get on in one. But my opponent's got a power 3 ball. APOC looking at the straightforward shot, getting right up in front. That's actually like that right there. If you leave the wind in, like they have a shot of getting on in one. Doing just a little overpower. They didn't adjust very well for the wind. The wind not great to the left actually helped them because I thought they were going to get pushed a little to the right. Got that bounce, just a little overpower. Got that. I hit that rock earlier and ended up behind it. That is primo. So the only difference between getting over there and not getting over there is that let's see what I can do with a power 2 ball. I think with that wind I can get up there. Okay, 6. There's 6 and a little. And let's put that forward moving wind back on. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if a 2 power ball with a tailwind can get over there. No, it's not gonna. I overhit it. I'm surprised that I was able to with but I'm not surprised at the same time. I wasn't even thinking about it, and I should have been, because my opponent, I was watching how much power my opponent put on and where it hit, and they barely cleared down there. You can go back and rewind the video. They had a little bit of separation, but it was pretty freaking close. If that was the case, I would have actually been better off on that hole to bring out a Quasar or a Navigator. And I would have had the same topspin on the other side. The distance on the other side would have been exactly the same. And there is a rough bump here. There's max. There's min. I'm eking mid. So it is 1.3 times 6.5 divided by mid club is 2.4. 3.5 rings. There's 3.5. And perfect. Damn, I can't believe I got that off in time. I was running out of time. For sure. I did a 30% adjustment there, but I actually, if I'd have did a 40, I think that'd have been in. It just pushed me back that direction. I like it. I like it. Birdie, they got an eagle. That is definitely an eagle ball. That right there, just bring out a Titan. It'll help you out, but a Titan would have helped me out right there because I could have did what my opponent did and put very little topspin or very little overpower. If you had a headwind day, you bring out a 4-power ball and pick the spot down there. That is good to know, and that would be like if you were having a little bit of a problem depending on your club level. They've had quite a few of the 3-power topspin boost balls. That is definitely on and one if you bring the right ball. All right. I'm down one, so we got 9 down. Let's see if I can keep track up. If we were playing one-on-one, I would be I'd be down 1 right now. I got to get used to playing with that thorn. Like, I don't have the numbers right off the top of my head like I do a lot of my clubs. A lot of my clubs, even when I look, I'm looking just to verify what I'm thinking if I have time. But with the thorn, I actually have to look just to make sure. I could have swore there was a rough bump here, but with a Goliath. But it looks to me like you'd have to bring out a much bigger ball in order to get up there. Maybe I'm definitely going to not do the rough bump here. The rough bump does look dangerous, but it does seem like there was one. And maybe on this hole they had a alternate pin placement and we were able to do a rough bump on it. 1.3 times. If I was playing one-on-one right here, I'm going to do 1.2. I'm going to add on 20%. 7.5 divided by minimum cataclysm. 2.3. Somewhere like 3.9 rings. One backspin. Need to put a little bit more spin on there if I really wanted to get that. 3.91 rings. There's 1, 2, 3, 9, 1. 75 ring. I had 0 time left on the clock. 75 rings, great. That was a lot closer than where it should have been for that great, but who the hell knows? It's hitting on a hillside, so when you're hitting up there, if you don't hit it right where you're at and you didn't make an exactly great pull, I don't know that I like that shot on there. That hole might have been better with my Guardian, where I could get up closer and I could put a little bit of backspin on it, or I don't know. Sniper would have given me a little bit of ball guide. I have often advocated and will continue to advocate, because I think that it would make the game awesome and it would really make you start focusing on clubs. Like right now, I mean, I think people are focused on clubs and they have their, but like really, I haven't played with every club in my bag and there's a lot of them that aren't worth playing. But there's a lot of clubs, like I don't have a lot of time and grade on my Goliath. I've played with a Goliath quite a few times, but I mean, like Dunner plays with a Goliath every time. And so, and occasionally plays with a Grizzly. I occasionally play with a Goliath and play with a Grizzly, and so that difference, but like going through and making these tournaments, so like in this round you actually have to declare a bag. So like at the beginning of the round, when you went in there and you went in to join this round and pay for it, it would ask you what bag are you declaring for this round, and you had to play all 9 holes with that bag. Now, once you got done with the qualifying round, you got into the opening round, like you could change your clubs around. You could go, you know what, I'm really, you know, as much as my Cataclysm helps me on those 2 holes, it sucks playing with it on all the rest of them. My opponent's got a Thor's Hammer 7. That's got some top spin, and I think they can make it over from there. Nice. And nice. That was a shot of beauty right there. We will hope that we can achieve something similar times. Okay, that's where I want to start off, right there. And I'm going to do 1 less than max topspin. It's 7.5 divided by 1.5, it's 5.5 rings. 5.5. And then I'm going to put all of that power back in. And actually, sitting there thinking about it, I would have liked to have moved in. I would have liked to have moved in like 1 ring. I was hoping to hit it like maybe 1 ring great to the left, but not 2 or 3. That was shit. I think that looked like it was almost a good. I wanted to hit it 1 ring to the left, but not 3. Damn it. I think we can recover from right here, though. We can force a shootout. That's the whole goal. Not to drop a shot off minimum. There's max. There's max. There's mid. And the 3/4. And there is a rough up that we can do here. Really don't like that wind direction. .6. There's 2, 4. There's 5. I'm going to underpull it just a little. That was a risky shot with a rough iron. That was a risky shot with a rough iron if you were in 1-on-1 and you were trying to force a shootout. The smart move would have been to get in front and put on all the backspin and just get up on the green. Or in a worst case scenario, pull it back and then lay it up right off the green and then chip it over. Let's see. Alright, it's a draw. My whole goal here this round is I'm just dinking around, but I just want to go out there and see with just like a katana and just plan if you can get minimum score. And like which holes are the ones, like there's the one hole, I think it was hole number 1. We could get on in 1 if we brought out the right ball. So that's a hole we definitely have to, we're going to have to expend something on that. So far. Got a par 3, and we got a headwind. I have no idea. I should put together a strategy guide. You guys can, and everybody out there can give me some tips on stuff that I can include in the video. You can leave comments on there about like stuff when you're playing one-on-one. If you're, like I'm out playing one-on-one and half the time I'm just screwing around. But like if you were out seriously playing, I'm in Cataclysm. There's Max, so there's Max. There's mid. There's mid. Deacon mid. Do 3 and 4 and see where that puts me. Let's see if that woes up. Do 3 times 7.2 divided by mid Cataclysm, which is 2.0. 467. One ring great to the right. I was like totally out of time. I'm surprised I got it off in time. I'm curious to see if it woes up in time. It was a little short. I left it a little short and it ended up a little short. You can see how it rolls off on the back. I definitely didn't want to get caught in the roll. It looked like one of those ones you could come in really hot. But with that backspin on there, I should be able to get a little closer. I kind of like that area down here at the bottom, trying to hit down here and then bouncing over this whole little hill area and then engaging the green and moving up. I'd really like to either engage it there or all the way up at the top where you're bringing a club that's got enough backspin. So this might be another hole for a Guardian. You could start off on the top and not necessarily try and backspin it in, but just like go at it so that you can, you know. It's pretty close, pretty close. Look at all the freaking undulation on this course. So if your speed's not absolutely right, it'll start drifting one way or another. So like the odds that this is not gonna, somebody out there is telling me, no, I can get a hole in one on that hole every freaking time. Well, please get into the comments and leave an exact thing on how that happens. I'm sure there is a way to get a hole in one on this every time, but it just looks to me when you look at the green with all the undulation that if you think about how the ball's rolling across the course, depending on how much spin you got on it, every one of those little undulations is throwing it off trajectory. Birdie. I'd be curious to see what's at the top, especially with that one hole where I know we can get on. Got another par 4 here. This is I think this par 4's got the sand in front of it, and I'm not sure there's any way to get on. I mean, like I tried earlier today in rookie to try and get enough momentum because I watched my opponent and they came into the sand, and the way that the sand is there, it rolled into the sand, and it looked like if they had a little bit more momentum, they would have actually popped out of the sand. So I'm just wondering if I can't rough bump it down off of that side over there. Jeez, look how close that is. There ain't no way. There's no way. That will rough bump out if it doesn't hit the sand. 6-7. I'm going to add on 20%. And I'm going to say that that's 8. That's 7.5. That's 8. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if I get the bounce, did he bounce, or if it carries right here. End of the deal. Bounce, did he bounce? There you go. Now I'm just going to do this shot straight up. Like, I get a lot of questions about elevation in my comments, and the whole deal is that elevation is really bullshit. Because right there, you look at that, and if you were out in the field, and if it always worked out that, hey, I'm going to take a little off because I'm uphill, that does not work out in this game. As uphill as that is, if this shot was in reverse and it was downhill, you know you would be adding wind on. You'd be adding on at least 10%, if not more. But it doesn't work that way when it's uphill. Nice. Bounce, diddy, bounce, diddy, bounce. I'm just going to hit a straight up shot wherever I'm at my club. The way the wind is, I'm going to add on plus 0.1. There's max. There's man. I'm at minimum grizzly. And I'm going to go right at the flagpole. Hey. 7.2 divided by minimum grizzly. 5.14 rings. And there's 5.14. Exactly. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if we can get, and that was just doing it straight up. And I needed to add on at least 10%. If I'd added on 10%, that'd have been 565. So that'd have been 0.5, half a ring. That'd have been pretty close. That might have been slightly too much, but that would have been definitely closer. Make a note of that. And my opponent might have pulled, if they had it set up on theirs, they might have did a 20. This is where Dunner and I, me and him are practicing on the same day. We can get such good information because, like, I'll go out and we'll make a decision and I go first and I'll go, okay, I'll just take it straight up. And then I'm like, wow, you should have did 10%. And then he'll do the 10% and go, man, I should have added on plus 0.1. And we can get it fairly close just because we're talking. It would suck if you could actually chat with your caveman opponent right there, because some of these people, I don't know that I would want to know what, I don't want to talk to them. Shit, it's bad enough just watching their emojis. Hole number 6. What is hole number 6? It's a par 5. Yeah. I'm 100% positive in Ricky I was playing to the right. And this might be a big topper hole. This might be one of those holes that I have to bring out one of my other bags and try and beat the person out on the course. Oh, we got a tailwind so we can get over. Max topspin. Where will that put me? If I just let the wind carry me, the wind's going to carry me out there to my white line. And I hit it great to the right. I was trying to lean a little to the right, and I hit it great to the right. I think if you're over there on the left-hand side, it just kind of rolls off a little bit more. I think there's a flatter spot over even more to the right than where I'm at. But if you're to the right, it opens it up. It opens the entire mouth up to the cup. I have no freaking clue what to do. I think I did a 30% in my Ricky account, and I didn't, and it wasn't enough. What did I do in my Ricky account? Let's swing at the fences. Let's see if we can overpull it, and then we know for the rest of the week that it's less than that. So I'm going to do a 40. But it seems like it's way downhill. Shit, I'm going to actually do a 40. All right. 6.4 divided by, there's max. I could be at max grizzly. little ball guide here. Max Grizzly is 0.9, 9.95 rings. .95 rings. There is 995. Hitting it perfect. And we'll see how far I overpulled it on a 40. Didn't pull it enough. And I was a little close, a little hot. Either pull back a little bit. The thing about pulling back a little bit is that it breaks right there at the cup. You can see where my ball guide, where it's breaking. So if you pull back a little bit and let it roll out, you're not seeing it as good. Maybe one more backspin, and that way you can stay at the, you can actually, if you put like a backspin, maybe a backspin and a half more on it, then you can get up closer to it. Start putting on too much backspin and it changes it, especially your tail at the end if you've got clubs that have ball guide. It's like, what the hell? This is the first time I've had to recover all day. In the hole. All right. All right. I think there's been a couple holes that I think bringing out like a 3 power ball would have helped, but for the most part, it hasn't been too bad so far. Not too bad. If Dunner can get his connection hooked up, he's got enough accounts. I've got, I could play. We could at least do scouting report rounds where we go out and play Masters and Expert and Pro. All right, hole number 7. What is hole number 7? Where am I at? Where am I at? All right. I haven't dropped anything. Haven't picked anything up. Here we go. 1-on-1. This hole right here doesn't look fun. I don't even remember this hole in the rookie round. Okay, where am I at in my club? There's max. I'm up towards max. 1.8 per ring. Three-side spin ball will work better. It is 1.2 times 6.1 divided by 1.8. 4 rings. Isn't it perfect? See if I did a 20% adjustment on that. And go back. Hey, Buster. Go back and see where I hit there and see if it hit in the right spot and I didn't add on enough topspin, or if it hit further back in the rough and I didn't pull out enough. Hey, bro, you want to get on video? Just come over here. Come over here. Say hi. Say hi to everybody, Buster. Is that what you were doing earlier? You were saying hi. I gotcha. Opponent hit 2 rings great. I don't know that I like that little mound. You can see how it's freaking domed. Go back and rewind the video right there where you can see where my opponent's ball hit the ground and you get a pretty good view of what the top of that island looks like. It looks a lot flatter from distance, but when you're up close you can see why when you hit that sometimes your ball goes haywire. it goes haywire because it's not flat at all. In the hole, Josie one. Is it Josie one? Josie one. I have a really good friend whose brother's name was Josie. Josie. All right. Another hole in the. Let's see if we can pick one of these up. I can't remember on this one. We're just acting like we're going out in one-on-one and we just get some random hole. I know I'm playing on the right-hand side. And I think in rookie, the best you can do is like getting to this. I don't know that you can get over to the one on the other side. You might be able to. You know, this is a par 4. I think you can. The ideal, if you could get your curl right, if you could hook it around on the other side, you could get it so that it runs down that mouth to the cup, but it does make an S down there at the very end by the sand traps. Is this a hole that's protected? All right. I'm going to pull back from the red line to like the +1 mark, and I'm only going to put on like 4.5 topspin, and we'll see where that ends us up. See if I can put more on. If I add on 10%, that'd be 7.2, and it's 7.5 a ring set. So I'm going to do a little less than a ring set. Just hit it down there. Perfect. And just see what it looks like down there and just keep myself in play. Just roll it out. I could get a little more aggressive on the topspin, maybe add another click. You can do that good with the Apocalypse because you can pull back from the red line. So you can do the same thing with the extra mile. You could pull back from the red line to probably like the +3 or +4 mark. Give yourself lots of room in front. With a 3 Powerball, it's at the +16. So if you could pull back to like the +5, you give yourself quite a bit of room in front to work out headwind days. And good top spin. But you don't really need more than, I think maybe like 5.5. Now, if you wanted to get all the way over to the other side, you could probably do that with some of these topspin boost balls, or pound it out there, or you know, there's ways to do it. This is where you could get all the way up on the lip. I'm at minimum grizzly. Minimum grizzly is 1.4, so 1.2 times 5.7 divided by 1.4 is 4.88 rings. There's 488. Isn't it perfect? And I over pulled it. Probably only need to do about 10. It definitely felt like where it was going down that hill that I needed to do something, but I did too much. 10 would have worked. You got the same shot with the Nirvana, and the way that the wind's blowing right now, that you're not involving the sand. So if you started off right dead center in the middle of that rough, if you over or under pull it, I think and you hit it great to the left or the right. Unless you way under pulled it and then hit it like 2 rings great to the left. I got a shot on that hole as the week goes on. I think that's a hole we can definitely get just with a freaking katana. That rough bump is definitely makeable. And there's definitely no secondary wind effect on that. Definitely, definitely. All right. I'm not even sure what hole I'm on. Is this hole 7 or 8? That was hole number 8. All right. What do we have for hole number 9? What do I see here? Do I see anything? Do I see anything on it? Is anything coming to mind? Nothing's coming to mind. I can't remember how we played this, and I definitely don't know how. I can't remember how to play it in pro. I don't know that I've ever played this from the pro tees. There's some of these holes I have. There's a bunch of the newer holes that have come out in like the last 2 or 3 years that I've played in Ricky, but a lot of them, the only time I've ever played them is in Ricky. I've never played them in one-on-one. I've been playing Odd-Ot and 77. 77's been playing Tour 7, and Odd-Ot's been playing Tour 9. And I went up through Tour 8 to get to Tour 9, and so I've been playing some of them for the first time, learning how to play them from the pro tees. And I go first. Where's the tee? It seems like we're hitting over. It seems like we're hitting straight forward, and we are. We're hitting straight forward in Ricky. And I don't even know if I got to the other side. Could I make it? Again, a wind will push me over there all by itself. Six nine. 75. I'll push all that wind back in. Hitting it perfect. See if I put enough overpower on it to get it going. Should have a nice shot from out there. Should. Put a little pressure on my opponent. By acting like it's one-on-one. We're the Ryder Cup. It's too bad they couldn't organize the clans enough where we as clans could challenge another clan to like a Ryder Cup thing, or a challenge to a, you know, a one-day tournament, and the person that goes out there and scores the lowest round, or, you know, do the whole, you know, have some fun amongst the clans instead of just having your bracket at the end, like having a tournament where it's the people in the bracket. I'm going to take this shot just straight up. I'm at max Grizzly. 6.4 divided by 0.9, 7.11 rings. And I'm going to add on, I'm going to do 7 too. .2 rings. Okay, there's 5, 6, 7, 2. Hitting it perfect. I want to see from that spot. I did a straight up shot. I didn't add on anything. I wanted to see how far off it was. It seemed like it was way downhill, but that was like maybe just plus 10%. That was 7. I added on 0.1. It would have been 7, 8. It would have been 7, 9 if I would have added on 10% versus 7, 2. I think the 7, 9 would have been Might have been too much. .05 times. Maybe half, maybe 0.5. I think 5% would have been better. Would have been closer. That would give me that would have been 0.75 plus 1.7 or 7.6. Could have been closer. All right, that was a nice clean round. Sight unseen with a freaking katana ball. And I don't know that I ended up. Did I take one shot with my rough iron? I had a couple chips that I had to do where I was on the fringe. I think for the most part it was a pretty clean round. Pretty clean. What's at the top? Now I gotta think that there's one of those holes we can get on. So like that hole is like super low hanging fruit. So like that's got to be a 13 at the top, and then there's several other holes that were like right there. So I mean, it's got to be a 14 at the top. 13, 14 at the top, and a 13. Pick that shot up. They must have got an alibi or something. Yep, they got an alibi. So they picked up one, but they must have dropped one somewhere. They did. They dropped hole number 9. And with today's win, hole number 9, like looking at that hole. What is hole number 9? Accursed Asylum. Looking at that hole, trying to go straight forward with today's wind. Anytime there's a tailwind, you know, we can let it push us out in here. If I'd have brought out a 3 power ball, it definitely would have helped me. I was a little short with max overpower with the 2, so I mean it definitely would have helped me. But I still got really good distance out here. I don't know that you really want to get too much more out there. You do want to open it up so you got a nice straight run to the cup and you're not involving the sand. So you don't want to be, if you're too far back out here, when you're coming to the cup, you're going to have to use side spin in order to straighten your shot out. We definitely have a great shot there. And I did, what, thinking plus 5% on this hole? On the shot to the cup. If it's a headwind day coming over, if we're going to try and get down into that area, I don't even think, maybe with a 5 power ball, but the way that the wind's been blowing in these types of areas right here is like it's carrying a lot on tailwind days, and it is super pushing against you on headwind days, and you might not be able to make it. So like the secondary shot, I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at like trying to get down into here and then you look at your second shot coming up to the cup, there is a rough bump along that angle. This isn't, I do like T rough bumps, but this is not that. There's a big ass sand trap right there. So anytime the wind's blowing from any of these directions, that sand is going to hamper you. If you could start your rough bump, if you were coming at it from this angle and you started your rough bump down here and brought it up, that would be ideal. That gives you a lot more wind angle days. I mean, you're only cutting out this much out of the circle, so you're getting a lot more days where you can pull the wind out and not involve the sand. It might be worth coming out on a hole like this and doing a practice just to set up a secondary shot, like where would be the best way to go, like what does this look like. Because if you were over here and you didn't want to take that rough bump, you'd have to come back here wherever your red line's at and get into that spot, and you'd have to either side spin or so in this case you'd probably want a big side spin ball, and you probably wouldn't be putting a lot of top spin on it. You could try and bring that sucker around and stay out so you don't use the rough. That'd be the way to do it if you were going to come to this area here. You could probably get to that area pretty easy. If you shot it over into this area, you are giving yourself at least a look at it where you can do the run up, but you do have a much longer shot. I don't even know if this is wood area from over here. Shit, I'm not sure if it is. It might be worth hitting over there just to find that out. Because hitting to this island is not, unless I'm using the island as a launching pad to get forward, it is not worth hitting to that island. I mean, really the safest place to go if you were playing this in one-on-one is to just come out here if you couldn't get this direction, and then you could just bring it around and lay it up in front. Hole number 8. What do we got on this hole? Yeah, we had a good shot on this hole as well. I think the second shot on this hole, that one, it was, what did I get? I think I got out to here. In rookie, I was able to get up into the front, and I tried in rookie based off of what I saw my opponent do. Because of the way this hill rolls right here, it rolls like this, and then it kind of drops into the sand trap, and the sand trap kind of comes like this, and then there's a little bit of a lip, and then the rough comes back down. And when my opponent came down, they hit it, and they rolled a little bit in the sand. And it looked like if they had just a little teeny bit more speed, they might have actually rolled out of it. So I tried it, and I got caught in the same spot. I tried it with a bigger ball, and I put a little more oomph on it, and I still got caught in the same spot. You could there probably is ways to get down there, especially if you came through like this and you tried to get a bounce here, and you used this little fairway right here as your spot. Instead of bouncing off of this and then hitting the sand and then trying to get out, you're hitting that little teeny rough area. That probably is the way to go into it. I think personally that it's worth, if you're willing to bring out the bigger stuff to try and go down into this area, that it, like, because you do have a great shot from here, I'd have a hard time laying off this, because the risk versus reward. The reward is that you get on this side and you're in the hole. That's as good as being in the hole. And the risk is that you're in this spot where all you have to do is hit perfect and it'll go in the hole. And if you're in this spot right here, you'll have to hit it perfect in order for it to go in the hole. So it might be worth the risk to bring out a bigger ball there. If you could get down there in pro, I'm not sure you can. I think I got to the middle area fairly easily, so I think you probably could if you brought out a bigger equipment. Hole number 7. I thought there was, I think we have a shot on this one as well. I think I did the rough bump here, and that is pretty dangerous, and it would probably be better served with a sniper. Or, as crazy as it may sound, it might be a Horizon. It's got the top spin, it's got ball guide. It's not very accurate, but that spot that's in there, you do have a pretty good little area to work with, and then try and bring it around. It might not, it's for some people that don't have some clubs, Horizon might be an option on that hole. I kind of like the rough bump. It is dangerous, but this island, go back in the video and look at this island. See right here, it looks like it's flat. You can kind of tell based off the shadow that there's probably like a little ridge here. There's like some kind of peak going on over here, and then it rolls off. But I think that if you look at it, we're like out here where this area looks flat and it just looks like it has a ridge right here. That is not the case. That it has a shit ton of moguls on it and it's all jacked up. As dangerous as that rough bump is, I think that rough bump's the way to go. I think it's the same thing, playing down into this area right here. You can get to the same exact spot you can get in rookie. And I think I used the wind here, so once again, this might be one of those things where it depends on the wind, what ball you bring out in order to reach this area. But we have if you can achieve the shot here, this is definitely one shot at a time. If you can achieve the shot to get out here, you have a nice shot at the cup. Nice shot. Hole number 5. Working backwards. I could have swore this is a par 4. Even though I just played this hole just a second ago, I still can't fucking remember it. We're playing into this area, and we're having to bridge the gap in order to get over there. And in rookie, it wasn't too bad, but here in pro, we had to get the. It was one of these. We had to do the bounce, steady, bounce, steady, bounce. We had bounce number 1, bounce number 2, clip the rough, and bled out. And I think it was this hole right here. This shot getting down into this area right here is the trick. Like, if you really wanted to make this stable, and you really wanted to set your second shot up, is to think about and You could lay it up right in this area, but you could, without trying to get fancy at the end and trying to bring it around and trying to do some S-curve at the very end, just laying it up right here at the top. And looking at it from this angle. Sometimes I find that you have a green, and let's say the green's got this kind of a slope on it, and here's your fringe, and here's your fringe down here, and your pin's right here. And so a lot of times we're hitting the shot coming at it on the side hill. And this area right here, at least the way that 2D picture looks right there, is it looks like this green might kind of go like this. And so if you're hitting from here, you might be hitting it like straight towards the cup. Could be a good angle out there. I thought I got lucky, and if I was playing one-on-one, the deal is that you can recover from anywhere down here. So it's not that big of a risk to do it, to try and pick up a little bit. But if we took arc, as far as like distance from the cup, you know, I can get right out into this area right here, and I don't have to take the risk of getting caught in the rough or the sand. That might be a much smarter way to go about it. You could lay it up right here and have just a longer shot, because I think it was a pretty, was this my thorn? It seemed like one of these was a pretty short shot, but I think you get to that same area here and not have to work so hard. Maybe. It looks that way from the tee box, but it could just be me. I suppose if you're thinking about it from the tee box, I got bounce number 1 going here, and bounce number 2, and then I was able to bring it back around to bleed out into this area. And if my bounce number 1 is here, and I take an arc, you know, my bounce number 1 would have been in this direction. So I draw my line out, and I got to cover this distance. The good news about it is that what I like about if you wanted to try and bring it that way, is the apex of your shot is your red line, where your ring set's at, and that's good for us if we want to try and get the run, where if we can figure our curl out or the side spin that we have on our ball, you could get a good run down into that area and not have to take any of this risk. That's got to be a much better way to play it in pro as opposed to rookie, because in rookie you can get down, you can get over to here, so you got bounce over here and then you're getting over, and it might just be bringing out a bigger ball. Hole number 4. Yeah, I was in, where was I at? Was I in minimum Kingfisher, or excuse me, minimum Cataclysm? I had to be pretty close to like minimum cat. I was at least in minimum Cataclysm right there in that spot. And I think the last time we played this hole, and I think in rookie, if I'm here with a Cataclysm, I might be able to get here, and that was with a katana and a cat. I might be able to get to this spot right here with a Guardian, and I still might be able to do it with a katana, because I had room, because like I said, I was either in minimum or I was like maybe quarter club, mid club, and a Guardian hits about as far as a katana, so I should be able to get up here. I really don't like to hit in this zone, because this is where, like, this area here is kind of where it's coming out of the sand, and it's somewhat flat, and then it's coming up the hill, and then it's entering the green. And so the fringe is kind of like right here, so I think most of the fringe is kind of on the curve, and then the fairway starts. And so anywhere you're hitting up here, because it's really good a lot of times to hit the fringe, because you get a really nice rollout. Whereas if you hit the fairway and it seems like it's a little softer, it rolls out a little better, a little truer. And these types of shots I like to hit at the bottom. And then the second bounce clears this entirely. Now, there is a risk in doing this type of shot, is that when you do this type of shot and it comes down and then it takes this normal bounce, because of the height change in such a short distance, it can hit up at the top, and instead of bouncing back up or just rolling out, it'll slide. And you can get the slide and it'll slide across. So if your ball guide is telling you that it wants to slide, take this spot and push it forward or do something different with it. Pull it back a little bit so it makes this bounce a little different. And don't use that spot because it may slide on you. Or you start at the very top, and so you bring out a Guardian and you start up at the top and then you try and come out it. You could use like you might be able to use a sniper, so you have a little bit better ball guy, but you might have to bring out a bigger ball. Instead of a 2 power ball, bring out a 3 power ball, and then you could get into, but a Guardian would work from up here, and it has pretty decent ball guide. Then you could go straight at it. The problem with using backspin is like if you start getting where you're using more than 4 or 5, it's you know, your ball guide's going like this and your bounces are going like this, and then you put on one backspin and your bounces are going like you know, you're shortening it up, but these bounces are a little bit higher than they were right here. And so you start putting on 2, and now these bounces are a little bit higher yet, and it really messes up your final tail. And so you start putting on too much, and then all of a sudden you're hitting what your ball guide gives you, and you're not getting that final flat out. And I like to stay within that. And usually you need to be like, not on every hole, but on most holes, like maybe 4 backspin. You start getting beyond 4 and it starts getting rid of this final tail. But in a situation like that, on a hole like that, you might need more backspin, maybe. Is this the par 4? It's a par 5. Which way did I play this hole? I played the hole going this direction in pro, trying to bring it out here in front and stay in the clear. And I think this might have been the hole I had to take my rough iron shot on. I think I ended up in the rough out here. No, I over curled it. I hit it too far in the inside and I ended up right here, and you could recover. So you can recover from here. But we'll say this. You can recover from here, and you might be able to recover from a little bit further back, because if I remember, I was in like 3/4 club. So this area was 3/4, so you're like looking at maybe max, even maybe having to use the wind or put on a little bit of overpower with your Nirvana. So you do not want to fail anywhere on the other side of that line, because you won't be able to. You might. If you were in the right spot, you might be able to get over here and be able to bring it around with curl and at least get it over on the green side so you have a chip to recover. Or if you failed up here, you might be able to use this island to do the same thing, to just get over there and abandon anything in the middle. Just try and get over there. You're in a spot. If you bring out a big enough ball and Ricky, you can actually hit on this island and you can try and blast through this with a 5 power ball and get over into this area. But I think you can do the same thing without bringing out anything big, to try and just hit it straight forward just by hitting it over this direction and bringing it down. That if you can get your curl right. And what I did on mine was I set my APOC up. I was 5 rings off of this transitional surface, going off in this direction, anticipating that I'm going to put on max curl, and I'm trying to cover this angle. So I'm trying to be right on the outside of this line, because I know if I'm too far, then I'm putting this into play. I'm trying to thread that needle and go right through it, or be far enough out that I can come in like this and wedge against it up here at the top, and then clear myself at the end. And I hit it 3 rings great on the inside, which is to the left, and ended up right there. But there is a way to get down in there, and I think you can get to the same spot with just a 2 power 3 side spin ball. And I'm not sure that a bigger power ball would have helped any. It was just I hit the shot so poorly. Now a bigger power ball might have helped, because I wouldn't have had to do overpower. Like if you brought out a power 5 ball and you could do the shot and not have to do any overpower and just put the spin on it, then you have a much better shot of it succeeding consistently, because you're not hoping that your overpower shot makes it. Hole number 2. Yeah, this is just You know, there are several par 3s in the game that they took the same, it's the same shit where you're coming at it and there's a hill on this side, there's a little island over here, and it's got an area that's a shitty rough bump, and there are several par 3s in the game that are exactly like this. The hole's a little different, but it's the same exact hole. It's got this shitty area to hit through up here because of all these moguls. The only flat area is right up by the cub. It seems like I came here. I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to find out. I'm going to do some research on this hole. Because if this is the hole I'm thinking of, when this hole came out originally, it caused a bunch of heartaches because you can overshoot, and if you end up on overshooting it on the backside here, you could end up in some trouble real quick. Like, it's so steep on the backside here that if it even slightly gets going in that direction, that you could end up in trouble. If this is the hole that I'm thinking of, I did figure out a shot here with a Guardian where I was coming up closer. I was like wedged up into, I was coming up into this area so that I was up closer to the hole. And I had my ring sets wedged up in a certain way and with a certain spin. And then from that spot, I took the wind out. And that there was a really good shot on this. So I'm going to do some research on this hole because I think this is the hole. And there is a really good shot for us on it. But I could be wrong. I could be. This hole right here, we can get on one. And I'm going to bring out, this hole right here is the hole, like all of the rest of those holes. There's a few of them that a power 3 ball would have helped me out a little bit. And if it was a headwind day, I'd have to change my shot. If I brought out a power 2 ball, I'd have to go in a different direction. But this hole right here is worth bringing out whatever ball you need to bring out in order to get on a one. Or at least give yourself a shot to get on a one. If you don't make it, you're down there in the area where you got to hit it perfect and it goes in. High percentage. All right, thanks for watching. That was my pro qualifying round, practice round, scouting report. That was the whole 9 yards. That was all in one. I just killed like a whole murder of ravens in one shot. Now I'm gonna get complaints about killing ravens. I killed digital ravens. I'm gonna get in trouble. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, have fun this week, and I will see you on the next video.